because I'm such a fan of the bantamweight champion. I was the only one that called Merab last year. I was dying to stick with Merab, but I just think the unbeaten momentum of Umar Nurmagomedov cannot be stopped. They matched up at the start of the year as well. I'm going with Umar, champion, end of 2025.
Merab Dvalishvili. His run is going to run out. Umar is just too dangerous. Umar could take him, could take him down as well. He's got good time control. He's got great striking. Good distance recognition.
UFC co-event at UFC 311 is just another brutal battle between Umar Nurmagomedov and Merab Dvalishvili, and pros have revealed their verdict on the clash. And Sean O'Malley stated that he thinks Umar could beat Merab, but he's not entirely sure. He mentioned that Umar felt strong, but his skills didn't seem exceptional. O'Malley said Umar is good but not great, and that strength was the key factor when they faced off. He also added that he'll see where he stands when he returns and where the division is at.
Do you think Umar would beat him?
I do think Umar might beat him low-key, which kind of, I mean, it is what it is. We'll see where I'm at, or where the division's at when I get back, but I think Umar definitely could beat Merab. He's not great. He's just good. He felt strong, but his skills didn't feel like great. He just felt stronger than me, and it is what it is, but yeah.
Michael Bisping explained that he was initially going to pick Umar due to his undefeated record, but after seeing Merab's performance at UFC 310, he changed his mind. Bisping liked how Merab was getting passionate, even kicking off in the crowd and getting fired up at the press conference. He believes Merab is taking the fight seriously and is really motivated. While Bisping admits he could be wrong, he's picking Merab to get through Umar, just for fun.
Nurmagomedov. Yeah, I'm going to switch this one up as well, because I had Umar, because he is undefeated and all the rest of it. But I like what I saw from Merab at UFC 310. I liked seeing him kicking off in the crowd. I liked seeing him lose his mind at the press conference, and he's taking it so personal and so serious. I believe he does it. I think Merab gets through him. Maybe I'm wrong, but just for the fun, that's what we'll say.
Joe Rogan expressed that Umar has a real potential to become the champion, praising his skill and acknowledging that his victory over Javier Mendes was impressive, as no one had ever beaten Mendes in that way. Rogan mentioned that a fight between Merab and Umar would be crucial, as it could propel Umar to the top of the bantamweight division. He also highlighted the contrast in fighting styles between Umar and Khabib Nurmagomedov, noting that while Khabib steps down, Umar brings a completely different, yet equally impressive style to the table.
You know, and Umar has a real potential to be the champion. He really does, man. He's good, dude. And Raoni Barcelos is no joke.
Yeah.
Raoni is really good, and for him to take him out like that,
nobody's ever beat him like that.
No.
And
yeah, Merab versus Umar is interesting. That would be the big fight to get Umar right to the top.
Think about like what you've got now with like Nurmagomedov. He steps down, but then you have Umar. He looks great. Phenomenal. Completely different style.
Yep. Former UFC flyweight champion Davison Figueiredo is picking Merab Dvalishvili to defeat Umar Nurmagomedov. He praised Merab's striking and takedowns, but acknowledged Umar's skill and ability to surprise. However, Figueiredo believes Merab's relentless style will overwhelm Umar, and if the fight reaches the 5th round, Merab will retain his bantamweight title. He stated, "I tend more for Merab. The reason why I do this is his striking is not refined, but he manages to tire people and confuse people so he can get them down. On the other hand, Umar is a guy who knows how to submit from the bottom, so there is that risk for Merab. But after 5 rounds, I see Merab's hand being raised." Javier Mendes shared his thoughts on the fight between Umar and Merab, acknowledging the excitement surrounding the matchup. He expressed respect for both fighters' skills, recognizing that it's going to be a tough challenge for anyone facing them. Mendes emphasized that while Merab is a strong fighter, Umar has the ability to outclass him with his overall skill set, including his grappling and striking. He pointed out that both fighters are dangerous, but he believes Umar has the tools to come out on top.
Something to that nature. Not trying to put him down or anything, not condescending. So it was interesting.
I saw clips of it, and Merab is making it very, very interesting, and I like it. That's all I can tell you. I like it because it's causing interest. I'm sorry, but you know what? I give Merab an A+ for what he's doing because he's creating more interest out of it by doing what he's doing. So, you know, call it Sly Fox, call it whatever. You know, I love what he's doing. I really do. So for me, Merab, keep it up because you're just making people want to watch. you're making people pay attention to this fight, you know. So
Mendes also highlighted the importance of preparation, stating that Umar's camp is working hard to ensure he's ready for whatever Merab brings to the table. He stressed that the fight will be a test of both fighters' abilities and that every aspect of Umar's game, from strategy to mental focus, will be crucial. Ultimately, Mendes believes that Umar's talent and preparation will give him the edge in this highly anticipated clash.
Keep saying whatever he needs to say. Just keep it between you and Umar, and you know what? You got my respect. You got my respect all day long. But my job is to make sure that Umar, you know, we have the better opportunity to beat him. And it's not an easy task. No way is it an easy task. He's a great, great fighter. You know, so we have our work cut out for us. But, you know, I believe we can do it. But, you know, I'm supposed to believe that, you know, and I'm supposed to train my guy to believe that. And we're supposed to go in there with the belief that we're going to do that. And that's what I think is going to happen. We will go in with that belief.
Nick Pete shared that he was initially leaning towards Merab, but after considering Umar Nurmagomedov's unbeaten momentum, he believes it's unstoppable. Pete pointed out that Umar and Merab were set to match up earlier in the year, and he feels Umar's dominance will lead him to become champion by the end of 2025.
Last year, I was dying to stick with Merab, but I just think the unbeaten momentum of Umar Nurmagomedov cannot be stopped. They matched up at the start of the year as well. I'm going with Umar, champion, end of 2025.
Adam Catterall initially picked Umar to win, but after seeing Merab's fiery attitude and his confrontations with everyone around him, he considered changing his pick. Catterall noted that Mike was saying the same thing about Merab's intensity, but in the end, he decided to stick with his original pick of Umar to win the fight.
He's going to be Umar, but I might change my mind now, having seen that Merab's kicking off with everybody, that he's going against him and
Mike's
picking up the fellas.
Mike's just said exactly what you're saying now.
But I'm going with Umar. No, he's going with Merab.
Oh, you're going to stick with Umar, are you? Okay.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Umar.
UFC Hall of Famer Daniel Cormier praised Merab Dvalishvili's relentless style and striking ability. He called him the machine for his constant pressure until he took down his opponent. Cormier expressed admiration for Merab's strength and resilience, backing him for the fight. He stated, "Merab Dvalishvili is an absolute monster. His name is the Machine, and he is a machine. And I tell you this much, he is tough for anyone. Because of his pace, his pressure, his cardio, and his ability to spam takedowns. He just likes to spam takedowns. He is the guy that you play in a video game that you throw and break controllers because he will not stop. He will not stop. He just keeps going and going and going and going." Kamaru Usman also shared his respect for Umar on his podcast, highlighting how he appreciates Umar's mindset. Usman mentioned that he could relate to the challenges and doubts Umar faced early in his career, drawing parallels to his own experiences with skepticism. Usman offered his support to Umar, wishing him the best as he rises through the bantamweight ranks and possibly joins the ranks of other successful members of the Nurmagomedov family.
I like your just mentally, I like where you're at, and I like the way you think about it, because I was in a similar position to where I wanted to fight with Wonder Boy at the time, and they said the same thing to me, don't deserve it. And I wanted to fight with everybody in the top 5, and they say the same thing to me, you don't deserve it. Don't deserve it. No, I don't want to fight him. I don't want to fight him.
Lucas Tracy stated that he is picking Umar Nurmagomedov to win 50-45 against Merab Dvalishvili at UFC 311, predicting Umar will take every round. He noted that part of his prediction is based on Merab's last performance, as well as Umar's dominant showing against Corey Sandhagen.
I'm picking Umar by 50-45. I am picking Umar Nurmagomedov to 50-45 Merab Dvalishvili at UFC 311 to take every single round from him. And yes, a big part of that has to do with Merab's last performance, and it also has to do with Umar's schooling of Corey Sandhagen.
Lucas Thomas described the fight as highly competitive, with both fighters bringing something unique to the table. He highlighted Merab's relentless motor, which he believes is unmatched in MMA, while noting that Umar doesn't possess the same type of endurance, though he is well conditioned. Thomas pointed out that Umar's ability to scramble, stop takedowns, and strike on the feet could pose a challenge for Merab. However, he emphasized that Umar has yet to face someone as skilled as Merab. Thomas also praised Merab's toughness, acknowledging his impressive run in the UFC as a testament to his grit.
It's a competitive fight. I mean, it's a competitive fight in either direction. You've got both guys have something to offer the other one. In the case of Merab, as I mentioned, a motor like there has absolutely never been one in MMA. And Umar doesn't necessarily have that, although he is well conditioned. But I think his ability to scramble underneath, to stop takedowns and strike on the feet could be a bit of a problem. However, I'm going to say it one more time. He has not fought a guy as good as Merab, just matter-of-factly. And for Merab, man, you really got to admire the grit here by this guy, really taking on, I mean, just consider his murderer's run up to this point.
Joaquin Buckley acknowledged that both Umar and Merab have strong grappling skills, but he believes Merab has a few more tools at his disposal. He expressed particular interest in seeing how Umar's conditioning holds up against Merab's. Buckley also shared a point from his brother, Edry Dill, saying that when two grapplers face off, they often end up thinking they're strikers. He could see Merab using his striking to showcase a bit of a clinic against Umar in the fight.
That's a good one as well, you know. But I think Merab got a little bit more tools, you know, that he can use. And I'm especially intrigued just to see how Umar's conditioning compares to Merab as well. So, you know, as much as, you know, I would think that, you know, both of these guys will go out there grappling. You know, one thing that my brother Edry Diller will always say, when you got two grapplers in the cage, they eventually think they strikers, you know. So I can see Merab, you know, putting on a little striking clinic on Umar.
Billy Quarantillo expressed that he's picking his Long Island teammate, Merab, to win the fight. While he acknowledged Umar's strong pedigree and success in his previous matches, Quarantillo believes Merab can neutralize Umar's wrestling better than anyone else. He emphasized that Merab's pace could be a decisive factor in the fight, even though he might be the underdog. Ultimately, Quarantillo is sticking with his guy, Merab Dvalishvili.
I'm going to take the Long Island boy Merab in that one just because he's my boy. I think Umar, obviously, he has the pedigree, and he has a great in all of his fights. But I think Merab can kind of neutralize his wrestling a little bit more than anyone else could. And with Merab's pace, I think he can get that one done. Obviously, he's probably going to be an underdog, I'm sure. But yeah, I'm going to rock with my guy, Merab, in that one.
Jamie Lynn Horth stated that he's picking Merab to win, citing his momentum from his recent performance. He believes Merab has the right tools and style to secure the victory, which gives him confidence in choosing Merab for the win.
Merab, you know, he's just coming off that last one, and I think he's got the momentum, and I think he's got the tools and the style, so I'm going to take Merab on that as well.
Joshua Van shared that he's picking Merab to win, mentioning that he had a good moment with him in the back room. He expressed his support for Merab, saying he has to go with him for the fight.
Merab is cool as shit, you know what I mean? So I had a moment with him in the back room and stuff like that, so I have to go with Merab, man.
Adrian Yanez stated that he's picking Merab to win, mainly based on his superior cardio. He mentioned that skill-wise, he's unsure and finds it difficult to make a clear comparison, but believes Merab's conditioning will be the deciding factor in the fight.
I will pick Merab, and I will base it just completely off of cardio.
Okay.
Just because skill-wise, I don't know. It's all over the place for me.
UFC featherweight champion Aljamain Sterling expressed concerns about the fight being rushed and booked on short notice. He believes that fighters put in a lot of hard work to become champions and should be given adequate time to prepare properly for defending their title. Aljamain Sterling stated, "This fight is being made on 6 weeks' notice, maybe 6.5. For a title fight, I understand having to do that if you're a challenger, but as a champion, you shouldn't be relegated to those types of stipulations. It's just not right." Aljamain Sterling feels that scheduling a fight too soon raises doubts in the champion's mind about the effort they put in to reach the top. He believes a champion should be given a fair opportunity to prepare properly for their title defense. He further stated, "Then it leaves a bad taste in your mouth, as in, why did I work so hard to get to this position to call the shots or some of the shots? And you're not even getting a fair shake in it. Hopefully, we go out there, knock on wood. Merab does his thing, he takes 0, puts on a great performance, and we can move on from this and on to the next." Dominick Cruz praised Merab for being the type of champion he admires. He noted that Merab is always willing to take on any opponent, promoting the division and doing his best to elevate it. Cruz also highlighted Merab's non-stop, action-packed fighting style. While he acknowledged the difficulty of Merab's approach, he emphasized that Merab forces the grappling, making him a tough challenge for anyone.
I like Merab a lot. I like the type of champion that he just is in general. He's willing to take all customers. He's promoting the division, doing the best he can with that. And he fights non-stop action. Now it's tough. What you're saying is true.
Yeah.
He forces the grappling, right?
Cruz highlighted Merab's impressive number of takedowns and his exceptional cardio, pointing out that these are aspects of his game that haven't been tested in Umar's previous fights. When asked if Umar's inexperience would show against Merab, Cruz disagreed, stating that it's not about experience, but rather what a fighter has done in the gym before stepping into the cage. He emphasized that Merab is likely one of the most tested fighters in the UFC, having trained with Khabib Nurmagomedov, who Cruz described as a tough and challenging training partner.
That's an unreal amount of takedowns. And the cardio, the gas tank, right? This is the things we haven't seen tested with Umar in his past few bouts.
You think his inexperience is going to show in this fight?
Umar?
Nurmagomedov?
I don't think he's inexperienced. I think it comes down to what we were talking about, which is what you did in the gym before you get into that fight. And I think that the most tested human beings probably in
How do
the
you
UFC.
prepare for Merab, though?
Well, you've trained with Khabib. Khabib's nasty. He's just
Yeah.
miserable to train with. I know you know better than I do, but my guess from watching Bilal shift his entire mentality.
Yes.
It's a mindset that's different with that camp.
Henry Cejudo believes Davison Figueiredo's run as champion is nearing its end, stating that Umar is simply too dangerous. He pointed out that Umar could take Figueiredo down and control him with his striking and distance recognition. Cejudo also criticized Figueiredo's response when asked about a potential fight with Umar, saying he avoided the question and made unrelated comments. Cejudo added that if Figueiredo doesn't fight someone like Umar, the UFC will eventually make him, and his career as champion could be over.
Merab Dvalishvili, his run is gonna run out. Umar is just too dangerous. Umar could take him down as well. He's got good top control. He's got great striking, good distance recognition. And when they asked Merab Dvalishvili the question, you know, Umar Nurmagomedov is here. You know, what do you think about your potential fighting next? He's like, oh, I love the UFC. I love Dana White. Global warming. Let's make America great again. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he never really answered the question. If you don't fight a guy like Umar, the UFC's gonna make you fight a guy like Umar. Your career as a champion is pretty much done.
So what are your thoughts on this? Share your thoughts in the comments section, and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.